Well, hey everyone, it is the aftermath to a storm. I believe it was a named storm, Storm Bram or something like that. And it hit us pretty bad. Obviously on Raasay here we're sheltered with the Isle of Skye out there to the west, so that acts as a bit of a barrier. But wind gusts were getting up to 60, 70 miles an hour. And I was working on my latest video for my other channel, and I heard this metallic sound. It sounded like somebody wobbling up a metal sheet in the wind. And I was like, what is that? And at first I thought maybe it was just something even in my editing, because I was editing my videos, so I have headphones on. And anyway, it got very late, could hear the wind going, and then I walked down the road to the house here where we're living, and I see on the ground insulation everywhere. And I was like, oh, jinx, right, something's gone. And I immediately thought, what I had heard back there was the metal roof of the caravan coming off, and that must be the insulation from the ceiling of it. So let's go have a look. I'll show you a little bit more about what happened. Otherwise though, nothing else seems to have been damaged. This is our old greenhouse, which I grant you is an absolute mess because the wind has knocked everything down. We lost a plastic panel here that I replaced. All of this glass that's not in it was never in it, so the wind just blows right through it, I suppose, which is quite nice. Another piece of damage here. The IBC that I put here during the drought, we drained it of water and it's fallen over in the wind. I put that video up. It was 30 days we'd gone without rain. And I'm not joking when I say that today, I think, is probably the first day in 30 days that it's not rained. There's actually a blue sky up above us. And I genuinely, I'm not affected by dark weather, cold weather, wet weather. It's the Scottish genes in me, but gee whiz, this last few weeks has been dreary, dour, and dreich, all of the D's. And vitamin D is probably what you need to get through the winter at the moment. So, here's the caravan. Let's have a look. What do you think, Daisy? So it was actually from this side that I walked down that evening, and this was the insulation that I saw scattered on the ground. This is the roof of the bathroom, like the wee plastic skylight cover, which is a shame because I actually only replaced that a couple of years ago because the other one was broken. So that was brand new, unfortunately. But yeah, this is what I saw, except I couldn't see anything because it was just the metal sheet roof lying here at the side. And the first thought we had was, well, we need to get the metal roof off in case it blows off somewhere and damages something. So we took the digger down, we ripped the roof off. And as you can see, we just crushed it and bundled it up here, and you can see it there. There's the other skylight from the kitchen. You can see it was torn off here. There's the old remains of the guttering along the side. And once we had that off, what we had to try and do is stop the rest of it coming down, because the back over there actually hadn't fallen or hadn't been ripped off. The kind of bedroom, I suppose you could say, at the back still had the metal roof on it. So we wanted to strap that down. So what we had to do is throw these ratchet straps over. It was pouring with rain. The wind was blowing so hard. You couldn't hear anything. So of course, trying to communicate between me and my dad on each side of the caravan, hooking on these ratchet straps, trying to get the ratchet strap over, trying to get up onto a ladder and up high enough so that we could throw it over and stuff. Absolute nightmare. But we managed to at least get it strapped down and attached. And, and then we went to bed at about 12 o'clock at night. You can see how close this is to the house, you know, right here. Went to bed at about midnight and thought, well, right, we'll just deal with it in the morning. And yeah, this is what's left. In the time since, the first thing we put on were actually these two smaller ratchet straps. These are just Costco ones, but they worked really, really well. We've put on a slightly heavier duty one now. I actually used to kind of live in this caravan now and then. We've had it here for like, I don't know, 20 years now. And I used to stay in it now and then, just because it was like a spare caravan. And myself and Leonie, before we got married, had planned to stay in here temporarily until we found a place to stay. And we actually put insulation and plasterboard, and we actually put struts and wood on the inside to reinforce it. So we actually sunk a little bit of money into this, and it's a shame because most of that will be wasted. But anyway, let's have a look inside. This is the replacement door we put on because it was leaking, so we built a new frame for it. Oh God. The thing I noted at the time, which is quite funny, is the fact that the ceiling had stayed on. It was just the roof that came off. The craziest thing is, the inside has survived. Oh, there's no roof. There's the roof. Gone. Oh, there's the lack of the roof. Nice view out that way. You can see all the wiring for the lights and stuff. Daisy, don't drink that. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame. We put new uprights, all through here, strengthened it. We put a lot of insulation into it. All of this is filled with, I don't know what it is, 20, 30 mil Kingspan. Well, the Kingspan that you can see there probably. Rigid insulation. And then we plasterboarded over it, and then we painted it. We made, you can see basically a kind of living room area, what was going to be a kitchen area, and then a single bedroom at the back. We ended up finding a house here in Raasay to rent, so we never ended up finishing it. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame when you see it, because we, sunk a fair bit of time and effort into this. And my hope had been that maybe someone would want to take this and turn it into a shed or a workshop or an office or something like that. But yeah, that's not happening now. I think this thing will have to be demolished. I think what we'll have to do is, you can even see here, my dad put these in new plug sockets and stuff to wire it, put a new wiring loom throughout it. You can see all of that here as well too. It was good practice for what the house will be as well in the future when we start doing things ourselves. But yeah, we'll have to take the plasterboard, obviously. We'll have to take all of this off to demolish it. But I'm going to get all of the wood out, and I'll take all the insulation out as well too. My dad thinks he can repurpose it for something. But yeah, a bit of a shame. I mean, obviously, I'm glad that we ended up finding a house to live in rather than in this, but bit of a sad way for it to end. Wonder if we go through here. Here's the toilet that we were planning on putting into the bathroom. Oh God, yeah, the bathroom's not looking very good in there. Surprisingly, the funny thing is the bedroom back here is actually quite dry because it still has a roof. You can see the paint for the painted walls that we put in there. I don't even know if this has a boiler. Oh no, it still has a boiler. Our old Hoover. But yeah. So the plan now is I'm going to bring the truck down, get the trailer, and we're going to take this out. This is some flooring you can see here. And these are this is some leftover wood that was probably saved for the walls. It's quite a nice old table there. And there's some cheap B&Q kitchen cabinetry, kitchen cabinets, bathroom cabinets, toilet. We need to take that out of here. And I've got some sorted shelves and stuff. So yeah, take all of that out, at least put that maybe up in the lean-to next to the container up at the house site so it can dry out. And then probably gonna have to get a skip or something and just try and slowly demolish this place. But it's interesting, I don't think any trees or branches or anything else came down. So it looks really like all the damage was confined to the caravan. Nothing happened obviously to the house. House is all nice and solid. So yeah. Right, let's find the trailer. Now that I have a child, obviously reading a lot of storybooks, and like being up here is like being in a storybook. Which trailer would Goldilocks go for? Not this one. Too big, thought Goldilocks. Not this one. Too broken, thought Goldilocks. Not that one. Too many axles, thought Goldilocks. Not that one. that one's for boats, thought Goldilocks. Ah, this one. That trailer was perfect, thought Goldilocks. Oops. That's the problem with this truck. I really love it, but you have to open the tire carrier most times when you're putting the trailer on, which gets a little bit annoying. I don't know where this came from. I don't know what this was for even.
Use it here or not?
Yeah. I know, I was thinking of buying a smaller wheelbarrow at some point. See, I quite like this. You know, it's pretty solid, but I think for like a garage or... I just think it's a good table. I don't love the top, but...
Well, if it's for a garage, it's ideal with top.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. You couldn't really use it in a house, but like, I was thinking it would be a good thing to keep. But what I meant was there's another one of these in the rafters of the workshop. Oh, careful. Okay, so we've got all the wood, table, kitchen and bathroom units, and a toilet. What's that?
It could go this way if you want.
Okay, so that was some adventure getting the caravan cleared out. We have put most of it, you might be able to see back here. This looks like an absolute tip, I grant you. This is, as you can see here, all of the offcuts and excess from the build, whether that be little bits of cladding or stuff from the roofing or whatever. And at the back there, you can actually see those are the pallets with all of the nails, screws, battens, wrap, all the stuff that's meant to go on the roof, all of the excess and leftover of that. Now, what I would like to do is get this tidied up, because you might be able to see in front of me here, this is all of the excess. There's bits of soffit, there's battens and 2x4s and the like. There's all of these little small battens that were intended for the roof. In the end, the joiners ended up using different ones. I'd like to try and get this out of the rain, so I'd like to get most of it in here if possible. So there needs to be a big clear out of this, which I'm not looking forward to. I think we'll wait for the new year for that. The other thing I need to do is tidy up the ground. It's hard to see on the camera and the light's fading, but this whole area, these builders were very good, but my goodness, they left nails and screws absolutely everywhere. Everywhere you look, there are screws on the ground. So I'm gonna have to, I should come up here with this camera, stick it on the ground and do a time lapse, and I'll just crawl across the ground and pick up every last screw and nail and sort it out into some boxes or something. Again, something for another day. We have not had this much uninterrupted rain, and it was raining this morning. We've had about 8 or 9 hours of it not raining today in a stretch, which is probably the most amount we've had in, like I say, a month. So I was keen to get out and try and get that caravan cleared out. Now, on a happier note, one thing you may notice is we actually have the rest of the cladding done on the house. So look at this, we have beautiful cladding under here. You can see it now wrapping around the front door, round the window here, and better than that, the boys have actually sealed all around the windows as well too. So this place is now fully wind and watertight, hopefully, in theory. One thing you might notice, I'll switch to first person here, you may notice that it's slightly off-coloured here, and that's because this corner here is where the boys really began to run out of larch. We had this back and forth with the supplier's house, who sent us, according to them, enough cladding to cover the entire house plus wastage. But there was quite a lot of wastage in terms of rejection of boards that were, you know, the ends had split or whatever, small issues with them. But there was also quite a lot of wastage because all of the boards were the exact same length. I forget exactly how long they were, but each board was the same length. But it meant that there was quite a lot of wastage when it came to cutting all these small pieces for under the windows, when you got up to the sections up at the eaves and the like. And the guys really struggled to make it work. They had to do a lot of calculations to try and make sure and get stretch out every board as much as they could. Now, we actually ended up getting more boards from house, but even that wasn't enough. And by the end, they kind of found all of the best quality boards that maybe just were slightly more weathered or weren't all of the same consistency, and used them here on this side. And I think they did an amazing job. I think they were a bit worried to show me in case they thought I hated it, but I actually think it looks really nice. It looks, to me, more like the house I envisioned, which is something a little bit more textured and coloured. And you can see here a good example of how the larch starts out, you know, like this. It starts out basically white, but then it starts to fade over time and weather into this more grey colour that you can see here. Now, a lot of people in the comments of my video about the house, the tour of the house, when we were walking around looking at the cladding, were saying, oh, well, you're going to have to stain it because this stuff's going to go black, it's going to rot, you're going to have to do something about it. Not really. In theory, this stuff is self-treating. It's a bit of a misnomer, but it doesn't need treatment, it doesn't need painting. There are houses on Raasay with this same larch which have lasted 10, 15, 20 years without anyone even touching them. Council houses in the hall which haven't had anyone cleaning them or anything, and they've lasted okay. They're starting to, some of them, the boards are starting to rot and the like at the edges and need replacing. But if you are to look after these, and by that give it a clean every now and then, scrub them down, ensure that they are not getting damp and mildewy and staying like that, you shouldn't need to treat them. I haven't fully decided yet whether I'm going to oil it. If you do get into oiling it, you're kind of then in a process of oiling it every couple of years or something, which is fine. But I quite like the kind of natural weathered look that you get from these. I like the grey. I think the problem people have with these often is that they will put larch onto council houses and buildings and sheds, and they are told that it is self-treating and self-weathering and you don't need to do anything to it. But of course, you know, nothing is truly self-treating. You know, it's not invincible. All wood is susceptible to this kind of, you know, damp and the like. So the recommendation that I have seen over the years is more just to ensure that it is cleaned, that you're scrubbing off any mildew or build-ups and stuff like that. I still haven't decided though. I'm still kind of on the fence about it. But what I do know is that I love the way the house is looking now. It looks so complete and so smooth. And I'm sort of looking forward to seeing what it turns into and how it weathers over time. But anyway, that is the cladding of the house. That is the caravan, long overdue, cleared out. And now we're going to have to figure out how to demolish it. And yeah, that is a little post-storm update here from the Isle of Raasay. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.